There's been a couple of really interesting articles that have come out about books. And there's this article by Elle Griffin entitled "No One Buys Books," and it went really viral. And she basically takes the data from the Penguin Random House and the Simon and Schuster possible merger, or Penguin trying to buy Simon and Schuster. And all this data came out that nobody ever had access to from these big publishers. And basically what was found was that almost all the advance money goes to celebrities and big time authors. You have very few hits, if you will. There's a lot of books that lose money, but also things that we knew, that 96% of all books sell fewer than 2,000 copies. Like, it's very, very much a long tail. You get 1,000 copy bookseller, you should be proud. That's a really big deal. That would be a success. So yeah, I've actually posted this one out on Threads, and our good friend Rand Fishkin immediately got back to me and said, that's been debunked. It's this other. So I'm going to point to this other article as well from Slate called "Yes, People Still Buy Books," which takes a lot of time, basically trying to refute the wrong argument, I believe.
Agreed. 100%. I agree with you on this.
People still buy books.
Sort of. That should have been this. That should have been the headline. Well, sort of.
So, I mean, there's a really good scenario if you look at 1 billion books were sold last year, and 100 and what? Not as a billion. Yeah, whatever. And 825 million tickets to the movies. There's people still doing this thing. I think
the number of movie tickets sold is down 46% from the early 2000s. Just as a data point.
The point is, here's a couple things. So 1 billion books, that's what we know of. I think we're missing the argument and the opportunity. The argument here is that look at the data that was originally put out there. The traditional book publishing process is absolutely broken.
Yes.
And that's, I think, you want to look at the numbers that came out from Penguin and Simon and Schuster are their numbers. Now, they can make them look good or bad or whatever, but it's true. I mean, the money goes to a few, the top 1%. They take a lot of risks, whatever, and they sort of fill in the gaps with everybody else. And they don't really care.
Right.
They don't really care. So if you're going to look at that model as a content creator and say, I'm going to try to publish a book traditionally, I don't know what you're thinking. Why even go through that anymore? Now, if you can get it and you can get that big advance and you get a little upfront, great, but those are few and far between. And you got to remember that they're not market. Even it's funny when you look at some of the data from some of the, like is it Colleen Hoover, who's all over everywhere?
Yeah.
They basically said Colleen Hoover sells almost all of her own books. She does almost all of her own marketing. They hardly spend anything on marketing, because she's got a great TikTok following, which may or may not change now that algorithm changed. I don't know, but it's just interesting. I think the whole thing. So it's worth, if you are an author or care about these things, read these two articles. I think back to back, one's a really negative, the one's too positive in my opinion. But I think the whole thing is that this is an old business model that is in desperate need of disruption. It is being disrupted right now. There are solutions today. Technology makes it possible where we can sell directly to our customers and our readers. I think that's the way that most of us should go. And if you're a top 1%, great, take the book deal. If you're Justin Timberlake, great, take the book deal.
That's right.
Don't go direct. But for everyone else, you're probably going to look direct first.